Most of the content that appears on the Not Even Past website is made up of posts. Each story, for example, in the blog, Sound Maps, is a post. That's how WordPress organizes most of its content. This story, all these stories over here on the right are posts, such that if we click on them and we're logged in, we see Edit Post up here, and that enables us to go right in and edit that post. This video is about how to create a new post. One way to get to add new post is if you're logged in and you're on the front of the site, then you get this bar at the top and you can do new post. Another way is to go to the dashboard, which you can get to from anywhere by just adding wp-admin to the end of the URL. So once you're in the dashboard, hover over posts and you'll see all posts, add new, categories, tags. What we want to do is add a new post. So posts have three main areas of content. One is the title. This is a new post. They have content. This is the content. You can add text here. You can also add images, either by, just to go back a bit here, clicking the Add Media button will bring up this dialog, and you can use this to upload images. You can use it to upload PDFs, videos, all sorts of things. So if you want some piece of content in your site, this is the first thing to try, generally speaking. So if we don't already have the image that we want loaded onto the site, we go to Upload Files, select Files, and find an appropriate image. Whoops. Sure. And select it. Right. One thing you'll notice about this image is that over here on the right, we could edit it if we wanted to crop it or scale it. It tells you how large the image is here, which might be useful. You can align it. That means if you want it to stay to the left of the page, select left. If you want it to be centered, center, etc. And you can also even select what size it's displayed at. Obviously, lower numbers are smaller. So we'll choose medium, and I'll click Insert into Post, and then immediately you can see it in here. You can also make some edits to it by clicking on the image and selecting the landscaped icon here. And then you can shrink it down, you can change the alignment that you set it for. We can make it centered. You can add a caption to it. And there are even some other kinds of fancy things you can do over here, although typically you won't need to do any of this except for maybe center it and add a caption. One final thing actually you may want to do is if you want the person to be able to click on that and go somewhere other than the image itself, a larger version of the image itself, you can actually paste a URL in here, if that helps you. So now we've got our image. So aside from images in the post itself, you will almost certainly want throughout the site to include what's called a featured image. The featured image is added over here. The featured image is the image that you see when you see an excerpt of the post on other pages. It's kind of like the little avatar image for that post. So we'll choose this image, and that becomes the featured image of this post. The final step before you publish it, or actually two more steps, is to add a category to it. Now, some of these categories are special, and I will make separate videos about them. But for the blog, discover, read, and all of its subcategories, I'll do a separate presentation on students, Texas, and watch. All those main categories, this video is the one that you'll want. So we'll add this one to Texas. We also could have added it to watch, read, discover, or even blog. Typically, we'll want to use just one category. There might be circumstances where you want to add more, but generally speaking, it's just going to be one. And you can also add tags, although those are not... oh yeah, you'll also want to add tags. Sorry. And you can choose from the most used ones here. I'm not going to add tags in this example. So once everything is finished, you can hit publish. If you are not quite done with it, you might want to instead save it as a draft. Or if you accidentally publish it and you realize, oh, I don't actually want that to be on the front of the page of the website, you can reselect it and you can change it to draft here. And that will enable you to save all the changes you made to it, but it will not publish it to the front of the website. All right, so let's see what does happen to our new post here. If we go to the website and we go to the front page, and we glide down here to Texas, here is our new post over here on the right, the one that I just created. And if we click on it, we see this man. So one of the things that you noticed probably on the front is that it has that image that I set as the featured image. That's the one that we see here. If we go to the Texas page, we'll also probably see it. Yep, here it is. It's the top one. Now let's say that on this page we wanted different text to appear here than just the first text in the article. Maybe we want to write a brief summary that people can read when they go to the Texas page, but which isn't the first few lines of the actual post. So I'm going to take you back to the editing page. So you can see right now that excerpt comes from right here, the first line, but we can change that. We go back here and we say, and we can type the excerpt that we want right down here. Now, when we view the post itself, that doesn't show up. We still see this is the content. You can add text here. But if we go back to the Texas page, we see the excerpt. So that's a useful feature in some cases. That's it for how to create a post. All of that I described about Texas also applies to read, discover, watch, and blog, but does not apply to 15-Minute History, Our Stories, or students.